I'm wearing my wizarding robe, and we're in a corner. This is my wife, Nadia.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk about mental health. How about you tell them a little bit about your dealings with postpartum? How has having postpartum changed your life?
Just get anxious a lot, I guess. I never really used to get anxious before I had my girls. Our oldest is 5 and our youngest is 3 today. And I guess it was kind of after my youngest was born, I started to feel more anxious all the time, overthink things, start caring more what people thought, that sort of stuff. I was also staying at home, and that was really hard. I found stay at home mom really, really hard, and we ended up switching roles because I just could not be at home. It drove me absolutely crazy.
And I'm a homebody, so I prefer to be home anyway.
Yeah, no, it just drove me crazy. I couldn't do it, and so I went back to work, which is working in daycare. So I'm still working with kids, which is what I love, and it's easier for me to focus on a job rather than being at home and finishing laundry, finishing dishes, and just sitting on the couch with nothing really to do. I need stuff to do. I need my mind to be active. So I guess that's why it really hit me hard, because I was that stay-at-home parent. Because we can't really afford to have our kids in daycare. Her oldest is in school now, but it's still really, really expensive.
It is.
So we didn't really have an option but for one of us to be a stay-at-home parent. And it was just hard, I guess. And I think that's, for me anyway, it hit me the hardest. So, yeah, I think it helps for me to go back to work. I don't know what other moms with postpartum feel, but that was, it helped. Yeah.
How have you found your medication usage?
I started on a low, first of all, they started me on a low dosage. They ask you a whole bunch of questions. They give you a little quiz. Would you call it not a quiz?
Yeah, it's a little quiz
and
on how you feel.
Yeah, and you answer that, and then you go give it to your doctor, and he'll look through it and ask you more questions, and he'll start you on whichever one he feels is best for you at this point, I guess.
And they put you on Effexor right away.
And they put me on Zoloft first.
Oh, okay.
They had me on Zoloft, and they put me on Zoloft when about 2 years. I don't think we were living in this.
Yeah, we were here.
Okay, they put me on Zoloft 2 years ago, and I started it, and then I guess I just stopped because I was like, no, you know what? This is not me. I don't want to be on medication. I'm okay. I was probably just going through a phase, so I just stopped. And for about a year and a half, I guess I was fine. And then, I was going back to work, and it was winter, and it was cold, and I wasn't seeing my girls as much. I wasn't seeing Nick as much. And so I think that's when it kind of slowly started to I slowly started to get depressed again. And I kept on pushing it off, and then I think it was Nick I was just freaking out all the time over stupid stuff, losing my mind over stupid stuff. And I'm normally so easygoing, nothing really bothers me at all, whatever. But I was losing my mind over ridiculous stuff, and I knew it was dumb, but I didn't care. I didn't care that I was freaking out. I was more mad that he wasn't understanding why I was freaking out, and I'm lucky that he has PTSD and mental health issues, so he knows that it's not him, but it still affects him.
The other day, she fought with me over a pair of pants.
What? Oh, well, okay, I needed work clothes for work, and he was He was like, like, I'll
get it in a bit.
I'll get it in a bit. And I was like, no, like, I need my work pants now. And he said, well, if you go upstairs and bring me the laundry for upstairs to put in the washing machine, I will put it on. And I was like, well, then there's no point of you doing it. I might just go down because I'm just one more flight of stairs to go down. And so I just lost my mind and came upstairs and went to bed. Like, I was like, whatever.
She locked me out of the bedroom.
I was like, whatever. If you're not going to help me out.
I was totally gonna
But you know what? I had like a really, really bad day. And then in my mind, he was like not understanding my bad day, not wanting to help me make my day better by putting my pants in the washing machine. So I got mad at him, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, that's stupid, but that's what mental health can do to you, is just make you stress out over something so small, because in your mind it's building up to make it worse. Like, oh, he doesn't want to help me. Like, like he doesn't care about me enough to put my pants in the washing machine. And in his mind, he's like, I just came back from work. I want to sit down for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, I've had a bad day. Like, just put my pants in the goddamn washing machine.
And even I told her, it was like, I'm going to do it. I just want to sit down for a little bit. And the funny thing is, this was the night before she had to go to work. So it wasn't just like I need these right now because I'm running out the door. It was, I want you to go down and get them for me, which I was totally gonna do. But
no, we were switching them over. I wasn't even bringing them up though.
Yeah. But either way, it's like those little things. I understand why she's freaking out. I know it's not me, it's the mental health. And I understand that it's definitely difficult, and if you have a partner, you gotta understand that they're going through a hard time, and know that you can just give them a little bit of space for them to cool down for a little bit, and then you go talk to them, and they'll probably realize the reason why they were acting is what's going on inside their head, as opposed to what was actually happening.
Yeah, it's like a battle between common sense. Like, it's a, like, my mind was like, he doesn't want to help me at the moment, and like, why not? Like, he knows I had a really hard day. I'm asking him for like the simplest little thing. Why can't he help me? Like, doesn't he not care enough about me in this moment to help me? But then, like, that's not it at all. Like, he's had a long day at work too, and he just wants to sit down for 5 seconds. It's not about me at all, but my mind is going other places because he won't put pants in the washing machine. It's like, oh, well, he doesn't, care about me enough in this moment to put my pants in the washing machine for me. Like, I've had a really long day. Like, my mind, like, I'm mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. Like, my kids were just crazy that day. So close to so many breakdowns. Why can't he just help me at the moment? So, and that's what mental health does. It's almost like it wants to ruin every relationship you have.
It breaks you down piece by piece.
Yeah, it breaks you down. It makes you go crazy. It makes people around you think you're going crazy. And
I yelled at someone on the phone one time just because I was having a mental health day, and
yeah,
Nadia thought I was having an issue, and I was on the ground bawling my eyes out because
it was almost like he was having a seizure. His whole body was like convulsing. Like, it was like, so it was like shaking and tensed up, and I had to like almost pin him down. I am like 100 pounds, and I'm trying to pin my husband down on the floor and tell him like to try and calm down enough to go up the stairs and just go to bed. Like, well, I phoned this poor person back, and it was like, but like, yeah, that's what it does to you. It's like a switch that goes off in your brain, and it's like normal and then crazy. There's no like in between. There's no gray area. It's like black and white. It's either you are normal or you're batshit crazy.
Yeah, mental health is a very scary thing, and if you have it, like, don't be afraid to talk about it, because the other day I was sitting at a bus stop and waiting to go to work, And this guy was standing there, and he was looking a little shifty, and then he walked up to me, and he kind of said, did the two come yet? And I said, well, I just got dropped off by the two. And he was like, oh, okay. So he stood there, and then he walked over, and he's like, you seem really friendly, can I, like, stand by you? And I said, sure. And me and him started talking for a little second there, and he is a schizophrenic. So me and him were talking because I had issues early on in my PTSD where I was hearing and seeing things. Of course, not to the extent where things are telling me to do stuff and so on, but to the extent that I hear other people talking when they're not there. And I haven't had that in a long time because I'm on the proper medication and it's working for me. And he had mentioned, like, and I had mentioned all that, and we had a big conversation about it, and he said, thank you, I don't usually get to talk about this to many people, and not a whole lot of people understand. When people, he said, when people usually hear schizophrenia, they're just like, and they run away, right? And so it's one of those things where mental health is a very tricky thing, and it can feel very isolating and alone. And the thing is, you're not alone. There's lots of people out there who are in the same boat as you, feel the same as you. We all have different reasons for suffering, but we usually all suffer the same. The general feelings that come with anxiety and depression, dissociative breaks, and things like that are often treated the same across every person. It could just be different reasons for triggering those responses. And that's one of the things, is you gotta try to be as open as you can, especially with your loved ones when you're trying to communicate it, because the better your communication, the better people will understand, and the easier it will be to get help. One thing I'm trying to drill into her at the moment is that therapy is not a bad thing. Because you may not feel like you need therapy, but to go and learn the proper skills of how to cope with what you're going through, just little skills on how to deal with your breathing, how to deal with your racing mind, how to deal with those intrusive thoughts and those negative thoughts, suicidal tendencies, little tricks to like get yourself out of a dark place. And you know, those things are hard to learn on your own. I have tried over the decade that I've been dealing with this, and it wasn't until I went into day treatment. Now, you don't have to go into day treatment. A therapist, a licensed therapist, will be able to give you these skills to help you learn these things, and to be able to understand before you blow up at someone how to diffuse yourself, how to diffuse that bomb is a really good skill. And it's not anything to be ashamed of to go into therapy to get it, because it's just, and this is something I've always believed, no pills without skills, because pills is a band-aid solution. They're gonna help, but they aren't going to help you if you don't know how to diffuse the situations as they arise.
True, yeah. I'm now on
Effexor.
Yeah, Effexor, and they put me on like the lowest dosage, and then like
You're on like 150?
Well, yeah, they started me with like 37.5, I think, and then they bumped me up after, I think, 2 months, and then, because it wasn't working, I went back, and I needed to refill my prescription anyway, and it wasn't working, so they bumped me up, and then that didn't seem to be working, and, well, I didn't notice a difference in my mood. I think I had less mood swings, but I didn't know what I was thinking I would feel, because I don't think you ever feel, especially like postpartum, back to normal before you're a mom, right? Because before you're a mom, you can be selfish, right? And that's not I'm the sort of person that puts other people before myself anyway. So that wasn't really the issue. It was just having to, I don't even know, you're labeled differently. Once you're a mom, you have like a totally different label. you feel judged on what you dress and like what you dress your kids in, what you feed your kids, what you give your kids for birthday presents, like all that sort of stuff. It's like a total different pressure on you when you have the label of being a mom or even like a dad, like a parent. And you're totally labeled differently. You have to have a job that can not just support you and your spouse, but you and your children. And there's a lot of pressure on finding that a better job to support that, right? And it is hard. I know people say, and then there's people that say, well, if you can't afford kids, don't have them. But then that is also, and I can see with I put ammo on. Yeah. So where was I? Sorry, our kid just came in. Label. I guess it's hard having that label. It's a big baggage, heavy
weight.
bag, a big weight. Yeah, a heavy weight to carry. Gosh, on my mind. But yeah, no, mental health is definitely scary, especially when you have not had it for so long. Like all through my 20s, I didn't have it. I was the sort of person that didn't care, but I was just like different. Like I was a different person back then. I know you have to grow up and stuff like that, but I was just like a totally different person back then. And now, like, I'm always under the assumption, like, when I first meet people, I'm always under the assumption that they don't like me, and so I just don't try to get to know them. Like, I don't try to really make new friends or friends with anybody, or I don't talk to anybody really about my life unless they've been in my life since before I've had kids, and they've known me since then. I don't really try and get to know new people because my assumption is they just won't like me anyway, and that I have, that they think I'll have a boring life. Like, I love being at home, and I love just chilling out. Like, I don't like going out to dinner. I don't like going to parties, or not that we would go to parties at our, anyway, but I don't like...
We like small gatherings.
Yeah,
of
we
friends.
like small gatherings of friends, and that's our comfort zone, and...
We're recluses.
Yeah, like... We, want to live in the middle of nowhere someday, and it's just, that's who we are, and I find that being judged on that a lot, and it's, yeah, no, and I don't think that's necessarily mental health, but thinking that people that won't like me is...
That's your intrusive negative thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that, if you can ever learn them, is love languages. What is your love language? I can't remember off the top of my head how it works. I would have to go back and research it again, but it is something that, if you're interested in looking it up, is a better way for you to communicate your feelings to another person, and it works very well.
I've never been good at communicating. I've never, even before I was diagnosed with postpartum, I've never been good at talking about my feelings. Never. Like, I just didn't.
And if you've seen the movie Rocket Man, there is a scene in there at the very end where... So he's in therapy, and they do love letters to all the people in his life. And it's done in such a way that I was extremely happy about it, because when I was in day treatment, I had to write love letters to different people in my life in order to move on with myself, because it's for you. Your love letters are not meant to be given out to anyone or anything like that. They are meant to be written so that you as a person can move on. And they did a fantastic job at videoing that for Elton John's biography. And that was one of the things in the movie that made me really, really happy. So if you could find like cognitive behavioral therapy books where you can change the way you think and stuff like that and do the exercises, it'll definitely help. I used a book a while back called The Feel Good Book. It's yellow. It helped me a lot when I did all the exercises in it, and I think that if you get something like that, it can help change your mind. Anyway, I think that'll be all for today. We're running on 20 minutes plus, so thank you very much.
We talked about pants for a long time. I'm sorry about that.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming to the corner. This was a mental health talk today with my lovely wife for talking about postpartum and the rest of mental health that we could talk about. So
hope it helped. I feel like it was just talking about nothing, really.
No, being able to talk about that stuff and allowing yourself to be put out there is also a way to communicate to the people that you love, and as well as people that you don't know. It'll allow them to open up and speak to other people because they can see that some people are able to do it, and it's something that's difficult.
It's normal to break over pants.
Yeah, and it's difficult to talk about stuff like this for sure, but it's also something that is important so that everyone can learn to talk about it. Burying it deep down does nothing but hurt you. I've always said silence kills, and it's a fact of life, it does. So hopefully this helped everyone. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye.